This is outrageous. Now, this is LinkedIn, and I'll probably put this on Facebook as well, and I usually try to be positive. I try to talk about inspiring things. I try to talk about facts and busting myths and getting people to focus on how to be better together, thrive. But today I came across a video that demands a response, demands to be, frankly, condemned. Gary Vaynerchuk, a guy who runs Gary V Enterprises and VaynerX and all these different great companies, somebody I personally listen to his podcast, I watch a lot of his videos. I think he's an interesting voice for millennial entrepreneurs. I think he's an interesting voice for baby boomers, for Gen Xers, for everyone. And he's often all about admitting mistakes, admitting when you might have been wrong and pushing through those things. But a video today that he talked about really talks about advocating that young people should be willing to accept to work for people like Gary Vee for $12 an hour for up to 5 years, rather than accept jobs that might pay $52,000. His theory is that if he pays you $12 an hour, you can make less than $25,000 a year if you take no time off, never get sick, work 40 to 50 hours a week. And that's a better experience for young workers than them taking a less exciting job at $52,000. This is insane. This is from a man who advocates a life of hustle porn, who tells people that they should never stop moving, that if they work 8 or 9 hours a day, they still have 8 or 9 hours of productive hours they can use in their life to do more, to generate profit, to generate learning, all of those types of things. This is a man who is advocating to pay his staff a poverty level wage simply so they can feel the joy that is working for a boss who gives them the opportunity to learn. He also says it's good for young workers because then they're going to prove that they're humble, that they're gritty, that they want it, that they can afford to live and eat, in his words, exploitative food, live in exploitative apartments, live in exploitative environments, and put themselves in poverty simply for the joy of working their tail off for people like him. He is routinely on social media saying you should choose your job not based on what you'll earn or what the opportunities, but on the boss. That you should sacrifice to work with someone who inspires and elevates and empowers you. Well, if he's going to say that and then advocate that people like him should get away with paying people a poverty wage, paying highly skilled, educated workers who can justifiably make twice what he's willing to pay them anywhere else, that he should get away with paying them a poverty wage simply because they'll be in his orbit, simply because they'll learn from him, simply because after 5 years, they'll have proven to him and to everybody else that doubts them that they can eat humble pie, that they can show themselves to be abject, debasing, going, yes, I'm so glad I've learned from you. This is ridiculous. This hits on the myth that young people are not humble, that young people are not willing to sacrifice, that young people don't show grit. They show grit every single day. Every single day they show up at a job that doesn't pay them enough to live in a house or to live in an apartment on their own without the 5 roommates that Gary Vee is advocating people take on. They are showing grit. And for companies like Gary Vee's companies that are going to turn around and say, I don't understand why young people or why workers are not more loyal. Well, if you're paying them a poverty level wage, guess what? They are going to leave you. When they wisen up and realize that the joy of getting to work for you because you're an impressive internet celebrity and an impressive business person isn't worth trading 5 years of crucial income earning ability, they're going to leave you. They're going to find somewhere else to go. They're going to blaze their own path. Something that Gary Vee very inspiringly often tells people to do. Something that he says, hey, you want to be an entrepreneur? Go be an entrepreneur right out of high school. Don't even go to college. Or if you go to college, be an entrepreneur while you're in college. Or if you're working a job, be an entrepreneur in the 8 hours a day that you're not working at the job that you're at. But let me guess, if you work for Gary Vee, I bet you're at the office more than 8 hours a day. I bet that his hustle porn attitude keeps you working and tied to your desk, creating huge profit margins for his company and exhausts your creativity to the point that you can't possibly Have time to go out and start your own business. And when you get home, there's no way you can pay for those student loans that you got that marketing degree or that MBA, or you spend all those times on those online courses that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Because guess what? $12 an hour gets you $24,000 to $25,000 a year. And that's barely enough to subsist on food. So we need to think about this. If we're going to endorse ideas like Gary Vee's idea that we should pay people a sub-poverty level, then we have sacrificed the ability to ever complain that young workers are not loyal. If you pay people too little, they are going to leave to find somewhere where they are better valued both financially and as a person. And frankly, if you're going to advocate that you should get away with for 5 years paying highly trained, highly motivated people a poverty wage, then you do not value that person. You do not value their skill. You do not believe in their future. So let's all take a minute and let's pledge to ourselves that we're going to create staff engagement by valuing people, as future employees, and through their wages whenever humanly possible. And we're not going to pretend that we're going to justify a low wage as anything other than something that is a crying shame, because talented people deserve to be compensated just like everyone else. So go out there, show Gary Vee is wrong, compensate the people around you, implore them to be better, support them to be better, and guess what? People will flock to work for you. They will want to join your company. And that's going to make all of us better.